next speaker, Professor Dr. Ravi Inder Singh, is a director, Punjab University Regional Center, Ludhiana. He has more than 20 years of teaching experience and more than 10 years of administrative experience. I invite you, sir, to please address the audience.
First of all, good afternoon to all of you. Dr. Karamji Singh ji, I think he's not there. Professor H.K. Singh, Professor V.K. Shirotia ji, Durgesh Tripathi ji, my teacher, Dr. Jasween Kaur, and my sincere thanks to the Director of Technia, Institute of Technical Studies, Dr. Ajay Kumar, and my thanks to Dr. Rashmi, Dean Management Faculty of the Institute. And I must congratulate the organizing team for such, selecting such an important topic, National Education Policy 2020, which is actually a hot topic for discussion these days. And of course, we being the academicians, we must, discuss, since, the future of the education sector is dependent upon this policy, we must have a detailed discussion and find out, what are the, positive points, what are the, limitations of this policy. And then the most important part actually is of the implementation of the policy, which we people always remain concerned about. And before me, Professor Karamji has already talked about this policy in detail. And then after that, we had listened to Professor H.K. Singh, the two vice chancellors, one in chair and one the former vice chancellor. And after that, we also had the opportunity to listen to Shri V.K. Shirotia ji. So I planned my talk, but after listening to them, I think most of the points they have been taken, they have been discussed by them in this webinar. I would I had to change my this talk. No, this education policy, National Education Policy 2020. I would like to compare it with the prescription of a doctor. I think these two things are same. A doctor, before he gives the prescription, he goes into the investigation part, and then after that he goes in for the diagnosis, and then after that he gives the prescription, and after that the patient has to take the medicine. He will be cured, and that is just 20% of it. Prescription of the doctor, and the 20% is about the implementation part of that prescription. But here, the education policy part, by having this policy, national education policy, I will say 20% of the task is done, and 80% of is dependent upon the implementation part of this policy. I was talking that by having this policy, 20% of the task is done, and the actual the impact of this is actually the of this policy is dependent upon the implementation part. And no doubt, this policy is very, very good so far as the important issues which this policy is talking about. It is talking about the multidisciplinary education scenario. It is talking about equal importance to the academia, to vocational, and to the extracurricular activities. And so far as the multiple exit points given to the student, they are concerned, again it's a very, very good I think move which proposal which has been given in this policy. Because what I've seen during my 20 years of teaching experience, that students after joining a particular course, they always intend to most of them and most of the time they intend to shift to the other streams, actually, which was not possible in the earlier scenario. But with this provision coming in, that will become possible for these students to pursue their dreams. So what I see is that this policy is very, very good. Even the multiple large scale educational institutions having a strength of 3,000 students at least, which is proposed in the national education policy, will be able to provide the facilities which are actually needed for the holistic development of the students. But as I was saying, that 80% of this policy, the impact of this policy will depend upon the implementation part. And I feel there's a long way to go. I'm not pessimistic, I'm very, very optimistic, but what I'm trying to say is that we'll have to work very, very hard to get the actual results which we actually are trying to aim to get through this policy. I would like to share some data with you, which actually talks about our economic parameters, our demographic parameters, and our quality of the human beings. Actually, through this education, we are trying to improve the quality of human beings only. So what kind of information is available with you, with us, in case we look on to the Human Development Index? So what I see is that among 189 countries of the world, we are ranked at 129th position. So there's a long way to go for us so far as the development of the human sources is concerned. In case we look at the literacy ratio, therein also we find that our literacy rate is somewhere around 77%, whereas the world average is 86%. And the dropout ratio we know in our country is very, very high. So this was about the education, Human Development Index. You can easily measure that through, the quality of education, which is, going on in our country. And then literacy ratio is also telling us about the kind of efforts we are putting in providing education to our people. Then through this policy, we are trying to bring in innovation in the society. In case we look on to the innovation index of our country, among 131 countries of the world, we are ranked at 48th position, comparatively better than Human Development Index. But then again, I will say there's a long way to go for us. And the hunger index in our country, we are ranked at 94th position among 107 countries of the world. And then so far as, this policy is also, giving emphasis on the skill development. In case we look onto the skill development parameter, what we find is that only 5% of our population is skilled. Rest of the 95% of our population is actually unskilled. In case we look into the other developed countries of the world, then USA has got 52% of their population, skilled. And in this percentage in case of Germany, 75%. In case of South Korea, it is 96%. So what I'm trying to say through these parameters, that there's a long way to go for us. I'm not pessimistic. I'm again saying that this policy is very, very good, but to ensure the implementation part of this, to ensure that all the parameters which we are appreciating today being a part of this policy, in case we want to take the real output, then we'll have to work very hard. We'll have to work overnight to make all these things happen. Policy is talking about increasing the gross enrollment ratio, to increase it from somewhere around 26% to 50% by the year 2035. And in case that target is to be achieved, then we need to develop one higher educational institution, one in 1 week, which is a very, very a big task. So we'll have to do that in case we want to achieve that gross enrollment ratio of 50%. And besides all these issues, I am a teacher. For the last 20 years, I am into teaching profession, and before that I was a student. What I see is that we are lagging behind in a big way. Professor Karamjit Singh ji was talking about Indian, particularly the students from Punjab moving abroad. They are going to the foreign countries to, pursue their higher education there. And the rate of the students is very, very high. As per one of the report published in a very, very important newspaper published from the region, Da Tribune, for the 6 months data which they shared in that article, 147,000 students moved out of Punjab in 6 months in the year 2019. And out of 147,000 students, 128,000 were from the Punjab state only. And along with them, 67,000 crore rupees, that money went abroad. And the total budget which we put on higher education system in our country is, I think, somewhere around 90,000 crore rupees. So 67,000 crore in 6 months, and in case we double it for 1 year, so I think somewhere around 1 lakh crore rupees is going out of the country, whereas the budget of the country is less than 1 lakh crore rupees. So we need to put in lot of efforts. So far as education system is concerned, I would like to share, one feeling which I have with me. When a small kid, I've got a son of, who is 7 years old. So when he was to go to the school for the very first day, so my wife used to tell him that, he will find friends there, he will find toys there. And, we used to tell him, something good about the school so that he don't hesitate in, moving into the school. But one day, on the very first day, he went inside the school happily. But from the second day, third day, fourth day, what I found is that, he was always crying that I'm not interested in going to the school. So what I'm trying to say through this example is that, I have shared the story for a school, of a school going kid. But I feel that even in the higher education institutions, The students, though they are coming, but many of them, they don't like to come. So that is a kind of feeling which students, I feel, they have. What we need to first of all do is that we need to develop a system inside our educational institutions that the students, they like coming inside, they like staying inside, they like, learning. And that will become possible only in case our content which we are providing to them becomes practically relevant, is applicable in the real life scenario, okay, and is, delivered to them in such a manner that they find it interesting. We need to develop that kind of ambience. So first of all, I think we need to develop a kind of system which is liked by the students, which is student friendly, uh, and then you start coming to the classes, and then onwards we can focus on to the other parts which can, help us in taking our education system to greater levels. And with these words, I would like to extend my thanks once again to Dr. Rashmi, Dean Management Faculty, and Dr. Ajay Kumar, Director of the Institute. Thanks a lot for, associating with me with this intellectual discourse. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Ravindra, sir, you have given a very precious information to us, and it will be very enlightened. Thank you very much, sir.